I want to show you how you can explode your cold email outreach with the first liner method. This is one of the best methods out there in cold email, and I'm going to be creating a bunch of videos in this series where I'm experimenting, A/B testing a bunch of different methods, from the Loom using video, for example, the Lemlist advanced features. They have automation, personalization features, which are really interesting, doing a very direct method, and this first liner method. So the first liner method is one of the best methods out there, but definitely stick around for the other ones. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, because these videos are going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks and you definitely don't want to miss them. So subscribe, hit the bell button, and let's jump in. So the first liner method is basically when you personalize each first liner for each prospect, and this is kind of time consuming, to be completely honest. It takes roughly 3 to 5 minutes per prospect. It could take 2 to 5 maybe, but if you do the maths and you're doing 50 a day, or you're trying to do a bulk 1,000, it's quite a lot of time. But I think it's really worth it. It's one of the methods that just works really, really well, and there's a few reasons for that. The reason why it works really well, when you personalize that first liner, before the person even opens the email, before the prospect even opens the email, you can actually see a snippet of the first liner right there, and that's going to encourage them to open it. Because if that first liner is personalized, it's not generic, it looks a bit like it's a real email from a real person, not just automated, then the person's more likely to feel that this might be an important email and they're going to click through. So it increases your open rate. The second reason is that actually, once a person's opened the email, you've basically got one chance to see if they're going to scrap the email, click, unsubscribe, reply with just a one word, unsubscribe, I don't want this crap from you, or if they're going to read it and take it seriously. And that's the first thing they're going to read, is the first liner. And the first liner gives you the opportunity to show you're not a bot, you're not an automated tool, and you're not sending out hundreds of emails. You've taken the time to research the individual and you write something personal to them. And then we go into the more, generic stuff. But that first liner gives you that opportunity to have some kind of icebreaker to show them that you're a real person. And trust me, the second you say something personal, the second you show them that you're a real person, you've done some research on them, the reply rate goes through the roof, and most importantly, your meeting rate, your scheduled phone calls, your B2B SaaS demos, or your scheduled phone calls if you're a consultant or freelancer, goes through the roof. The first liner method works really well, I can tell you that. The downside, again, as I mentioned, is time. The time input is high, but it works very well. So how do we specifically do it? I'm going to show you exactly now, so stick around. I'm going to show you exactly what I do in the spreadsheet, how I format it, and exactly how to research the prospect in bulk in an efficient amount of time, because we need to be efficient at this, and how we can then, where exactly should we be looking for information? Where should we look first? Where should we look second? I'm going to show you exactly that right now. To start with, I'd start with a spreadsheet, which is really neat. But to start with, you really need to understand the tools you're working with, and you need to get the email addresses right. So generally speaking, I'm going to be using woodpecker.co. It's my favorite cold email tool out there. I always talk about it. Affiliate link in the description below as always, and there's other videos talking about how, comparing all the different cold email tools, so feel free to check that out. There's many out there. This is my favorite. The second thing is, I just created a video on how to get emails just now for this purpose of this specifically, and I use Snovio, and I just made a video on that, so I'm not going to go over it. It's called Get Emails from LinkedIn, how to get emails from LinkedIn profiles with one click. Here's the thumbnail. It's being released tomorrow morning, before this video is going to go out. So check out that video, get the email addresses, then export it into a Google Sheet, ideally. That's what I use, and have it like this. You have your first name. Sometimes you get a lot more information than you need. All you need is your first name, last name, first liner, profile URL, and that's really it. Maybe organization URL, which is LinkedIn. So once you've got this is how this is the methodology. We need to get a personalized first liner, and we need to make it happen quickly because it's very time consuming. So this is how I organize it. So we start with Sue Austin. So if we click on her profile, it will pop up, and that's why you have them all there. So it's all really neat and there. Right, so the first place I go is I check, okay, did she go to the same, is she from the same place as me? Did she go to the same university? Does she know anyone who I know really well? Normally this doesn't matter because everyone on LinkedIn is kind of loosely connected and don't really know who they're connected to. One of the first places I go to is see all activity and articles. The reason why I do this is because if someone's written an article, which Sue has, which is great, then I do that. Check the date this is kind of not very recent, but still maybe good enough. So let's look at it. Basically, the reason why, if they have written an article, which is not normally the case, and I'll show you what you have to do if they haven't, but the reason why this works really well is because it plays on their ego. They've obviously spent a bunch of time making it, writing it, and all that kind of stuff. So if you click on, if your first line is something like, hey, I checked out, I saw you, it'll be something like, hey Sue, so you don't have to put that because that's going to be in woodpecker.co, but your first line will be, I saw your article on, I came across your article on LinkedIn, or something like this. Let's say, I came across your, sorry if there's any spelling mistakes, I'm doing this quickly, across your article on LinkedIn about the Tracker mobile sync update. And then the thing is, that's not good enough. Too generic. You have to go one step deeper and try to find a specific point within the article. This is relatively not the most exciting article in the world, so it's actually a bit of a stretch. Maybe I wouldn't even use this. But if the article is a bit more personal, they've actually put a bit interesting about something interesting, then you can actually show genuine interest. But this might be a bit of a stretch to show genuine interest because it's not interesting in my opinion. Sorry. It's given that the tracker mobile sync, but basically you're trying to find a specific point within the article. It's not good enough to go, I liked your article. You have to go, I like the specific point in your article, that was really cool. Recent customer feedback on make a better new feature running. From customer feedback, it's an essential to our business. It's given the tracker mobile, always leaving opportunity for open feedback. So I don't think I'd use this, but my point here is make sure you do go deeper than just saying, this is a great article. Say, I read your article on You Talk, We Listen, and I found this point specifically really interesting, and you talk about the point. And that would be your first liner. I personally potentially wouldn't use this because the article's a little bit old and it's not that interesting. So if there's not a good article or a good post to rely on, then check her all activity. But if you're really struggling to find anything to do with your prospect, it might not be a good one to do, because the more genuine you are with your outreach, there's something, if you actually have something to say like, oh, I went to that university, we have some kind of connection, or if she's done something cool, like, oh, she, just won an award or something, or she did something, she wrote something, she did, I don't know. But another place you can look to is the actual company. I would normally always focus on what she's done within the company, and then look at what the company has done itself. So she's the owner of Route 5 Limited, but you can regularly talk about, oh, congrats on the funding round, I noticed you got it from those guys. Preferably if you have a link to them in some way, and try to be genuine. The more genuine you have, the better. So one of mine I saw growth manager with some fancy growth name. It was like director of growth, it's something funny. And I was called a growth manager. So I said, wow, I wish I had such a fancy name like you. That was my first line. It was tongue in cheek, and it worked really well. I obviously got a reply on that. So the more tongue in cheek, the more personal, the more real, connection you can make. Like if you see that they have an interest in jogging, and they're posting that on LinkedIn, or they have, they've just done, climbed Mount Everest, or I don't know, they've just gone to France, snowboarding somewhere where you've been before. Mention it. I say, I saw a post you put on LinkedIn. I've also loved snowboarding over there and that, that place. That's so cool. That's the kind of connection. If you're really struggling to make a connection, then maybe just skip them and just send out. Don't waste your time. Just do that, because you're probably not going to get the right reply anyway. So only do the ones that make sense. So another place you can go to is the website. Check if they've done anything cool, or check if they've had funding rounds, which you can sometimes see on their company page. Or yeah, like now you're just grasping straws, but like, do you have anything you connect with? If no, skip it. With this one, I'll probably write something about the article. I came across your article, blah blah blah. Let's try another one. Dennis Kaiser. Let's try this guy out and see what we can achieve with this guy. Hopefully, I'm just making this up as I go. I've not pre-planned it, so I want to show you what I would do here. So straight away, we can see forecast raises 19 million Series A funding to help people do the best work for their lives. You could, that as a fallback, that will do it. You can say, what we can do is actually go to Crunchbase and check who they raised the 19 million from, and just say, oh, that's so cool. I know about, you raised it from those guys. That's great partner to have, because then you've done a bit more research. But that's a fallback. I would actually start again. This guy's got a bit more going on here. I would start with his, so featured. Today I feel very proud to announce, so featured is really great. Forecast, you can read forecast CEO on the 90 million funding raise. But I would actually start, that's our fallback, start with the see all activity. Again, always start with the articles, because if he's written a really cool article about something, okay, so he posted this one, you can actually go into that then. I think this is going to work out really well. And so we're going to say, I'm Dennis, forecast, we're on a mission to unlock power of intelligence. We're super excited to announce 90 million. Okay, so congrats from the funding round by Balderton with our existing investors from Seed Capital Article, approximately highly competitive and oversubscribed market. Raising date 28 million. Just say congrats on the latest round of funding from Balderton. That's super cool. What a great partner to have. That's a really good one. Is a world-class investor. So yeah, you can literally go say it's a really great investor. I know about them. Great partner for your next growth. Has helped more than 100 in registration as a product forecast has. So with the new funding, it's been tremendously fun exhilarating today. You can maybe mention like, wow, you must be really exhausted. You guys, it sounds like you've been working really hard, and congrats on the forecast funding. It sounds like you've been in hypergrowth. Say something really genuine like that. It really will get you better reply rates as a first liner. So yeah, let's write that for Dennis. So hey Dennis, so this will already be here. Look, so this is already in woodpecker.co. You're going to have hi first name. That's going to be generic for everyone. Then you're going to have snippet 1, and snippet 1 is going to be the first liner. We're going to associate snippet 1 with this column here, first liner. So when you put in snippet 1, it's going to say, hey, first name. Then it's going to input whatever you write here, and then it's going to go into the sales pitch. I'm still developing this, so don't focus too much on this. I'm going to rewrite it, and I'm going to be A/B testing this stuff as well. So I'm going to do a bunch of these as well. But what we're focusing on here is that first liner. So we can write, congrats on the funding from Bay, what are they called? From Balderton. It's such an incredible global partner. Seriously, congrats, great. Seriously, congrats. You guys are killing it. The reason why I write like this, because it sounds personal. It's not like overly formal. It's not like, oh, this guy's just a robot. This guy's just I'm just trying to show personality in the first line. I'm trying to show that I'm a real person with real personality. And that's the key with B2B outreach, is to cut through the people who think that most of it is just automated, because it is. So you need to show you're a real person. And by showing personality, writing something like, seriously, congrats, you guys are killing it. That is really important. So that's how it's going to go. And that first liner is going to input automatically. It's going to say, hey, hi, Dennis. And then it's going to put the snippet, congrats on the funding from Balderton, such an incredible global partner. Seriously, congrats, you guys are killing it. And then it's going to go, I run LinkedIn ads for blah, blah, blah. Then it goes into your sales pitch. So that's how it works there. And yeah, we're going to just go through this one by one, and you're going to go through that. Another thing you can do, if, for example, he did not have an article, was then, yes, we go then to all activity, see the posts he's written. So here it is. I know he just likes that. Sorry, not all activity, and then posts. So go to the posts and see the annual forecast, 20 additional phenomenal times in Barcelona. So you could actually really easily go, I could say, for example, hey, I'm heading to Spain. I'm in Lisbon. I'm heading to Spain next month. How did your Fest 2021 edition go? You can add that. You can say I saw it on LinkedIn. That's perfect. That's showing that you've really done a bit of research. Join us for the live session, forecast CRO live to chat with John, head of PMO, about this. So yeah, you can also, talk about that. So there's a lot of posts he's got that you can say, if you're ambitious, have oomph, and could be looking for a new challenge, you can have 30 plus job opening. So you could also say, whoa, I just noticed you've got 30 plus job opening. I saw your post. That is incredible how fast you're growing. That's perfect. That's good. The more personal it is, the better. So if you said something like, just got back from a ski holiday, or just, did this mountain biking thing. If you did something personal, post, I would comment on the personal. I think that's going to do better, especially if you can connect it to yourself in some way or to your service. The more you can kind of make that link, the better it is. But if you can say, for example, a really good way is if you can connect what they're writing to your service. So you can say, for example, that's so cool that you are growing so fast, and then you can link that to something like, have you ever considered LinkedIn as a growth initiative? So yeah, looking at personal over job is better. And if you're struggling to find anything here, as mentioned, go back to their profile and check out the company. What is the company doing? Check out the company's website, for example. Check out if you know anyone who works there. Make any kind of connection you can. Write it in a really personal way. Write it in a funky, tongue-in-cheek, make a funny comment. This will cut through the noise. I find tongue-in-cheek, slightly cheeky, works really well. People love it. It makes them smile. If you can make them smile, they're going to reply to you, and then they're going to know you're not a bot, you're not a robot, and that's a big part of the battle. So yeah, check out where they've worked before. Maybe you've got some connection there. Check out the actual company itself. Where are they based? Maybe you can make some connection to the country they're based in. If it's Sweden or something, maybe spend your childhood summers in Sweden. You can mention, I need to get back. I noticed you're from that country. He's from the UK, obviously, and his surname is very German. But the point I'm trying to say is we need to find a connection, and that's what your first liner is. Make sure you check out this playlist that's popping up now, because I'm bringing out a bunch of videos which I'm going to put into this playlist all about the best cold email methods out there, and I'm going to be A/B testing everything, and the most exciting part will be the final video I make where I just analyze everything we've done so far, look at all the different methods, include time as an input because that's really important, look at the conversion rates and just see why things worked, why things didn't work, and make a big, learn from that, and so you guys can learn from it and just hit the ground running. So definitely subscribe, hit the bell button for these videos that are coming out, and check out this playlist.